value for those of you that are not familiar with that. Let's take a look at the team standings now. Foothill Technology has gotten all 5 of their runners through. They just ran a very smart team race, all of them kind of together. Vigo Bortolin in 13th for Foothill Technology. Connor White in 18th. Eli Billings in 22nd. Henry Folk in 23rd. Really packed them in there well. Brandon Wofford in 30th. Jaden Thrillhart in 31st. So Foothill Technology getting it done. 5 between 13 and 31 for Foothill Technology. Another big finish by West Ranch's Taylor Halverson. He moved up 12 spots in the last mile. So a couple West Ranch Wildcats making big moves. Castillo moving up 10, Halverson moving up 12 in the last mile. And now the girls' individual sweepstakes, Divisions 3, 4, and 5 are off and running. Wow, what a scintillating competition. Now you can see Foothill and South Pass 1 and 2. South Pasadena, of course, won the girls' team sweepstakes Division 3, 4, and 5 by a single point. West Torrance right there with Agora. It's all very tight. Palos Verdes in 5th, but those numbers could change, as could Cathedral Catholic in 6th. So an excellent sprint finish and a savvy veteran move to go to the outside by Augie Martin. And he wins by 1/10 of a second over Ollie O'Connor, 15:02.1. That's hoofing it for a 3-mile course like this. That's a nice race for Augie Martin. Martin 15th last year, 1st this year. The girls' individual sweepstakes now up in the upper left. We've got the gentlemen on the upper right just before they make the turn into the stadium. On the lower right, we've got your finishers still coming through. And Foothill Tech now with a 28-point lead. That's looking awfully solid. Awfully solid. Beautiful afternoon here in Walnut, California. Mount San Antonio College Relays, the largest cross-country event in the world. Proud to give it to you on runnerspace.com. By the way, if you don't know where Foothill Technology is, it's in Ventura, which is kind of the northwest portion of LA County from a beach perspective. So Foothill Technology right there in Ventura. And a real solid performance by that crew. Really nice job of pack running. Very impressive victory. So we're getting now to the twilight here in Walnut. This is our penultimate race. The boys' individual sweepstakes will begin at 5:50, so in about 16 minutes. And the girls going through the switchbacks, Valley Loop. They'll make that 2 times. They'll take that Valley Loop twice, and then up through the switchbacks. Then the appropriately big, massive expanse of land that goes up in Reservoir Hill. A little dark out there, hard to tell, but it looks like we've got a little separation at the front as we go to our drone shot. And coming up here in this Valley Loop area. 10 in that group. A couple very, very good team and team sweepstakes races, and we now head into these individual sweepstakes races. There's still team considerations on the individual sweepstakes races, although it might seem oxymoronic. They do keep the team score. And we'll be able to ID some of these runners once we get to that mile split, but our leader certainly has a rather massive margin. But we saw Kiara Daly's margin go to nothing, and it was even larger than this at this point in the race in a stunning upset earlier in that team sweepstakes race. About 80 degrees out there in Walnut. Wind doesn't seem too bad, 78 degrees as a matter of fact, and quite a bit of shade on that course. As you can see, the trees covering a big portion of the switchback area. Drone shot at the top for our leaders. Olivia Herrick of Capistrano Valley, 4:59.6. So that is a really good split. And it doesn't appear to be correct either. Ayana Hickey of the Bishop School, 5:29.2. Bishop School, small school in San Diego, I believe. Gabriella Peters from Sage Creek. And then Becky Osorio, West Covina. Harper Diaz, Santana. Isla Terrell from Monrovia. Lindsay Bellot, Coastal Academy. Anna Villavicencio of Woodlake. Amelia Sarkeesian of Brentwood. Maddie Giorgio, Marlboro. Audrey Heath. And her teammate, Meryl Garrison from Capistrano Valley, 10 and 11. By the way, Sage Creek number 2, Michaela Morocco in 13th. So 5:29.2, that does appear to be a more correct split, but Ayana Hickey from the Bishop School really opening it up considerably here. What a splendid afternoon. Bishop School indeed in La Jolla, founded in 1909. Has an excellent reputation in academic arts and athletics. La Jolla, of course, one of the most beautiful areas of the country. And Ayana Hickey just looking so comfortable. So Hickey this year was 37th at Woodbridge. So this is not totally unexpected. 37th at Woodbridge performance. She was second at the Coastal Cluster, CCA Ravens Invitational, and the Southern Cal Invitational. So this is her 5th race of the year. Last year, she was 3rd in the Division 5 State Cross Country Championships. So this is by no means a shockaroo, if you will. If you're interested in her track credentials, well, she's a good 1,600-meter runner, has a lifetime best of 4:52.39. And she was 9th in the Cal State 1,600 meters. And she is just running away with this thing. Got to know how to take those downhills. See how she shakes out her arms? That's a good move by her, just to kind of keep nice, smooth, and relaxed as she's running right around the practice track to Hilmer Lodge Stadium. And you can see this area they call the airstrip on the drone. She is slowing down a little bit. She did go out extremely aggressively.
Peters in second.
Gabriella Peters from Sage Creek in second. Becky Osorio of West Covina in with her, along with Harper Diaz and Isla Terrell. Terrell from Monrovia. On the team standings, by the way, Capistrano Valley up on Sage Creek, with Monrovia third, and Marlboro's a small school as well in the Brentwood area of Los Angeles, not too far away from where Vice President Kamala Harris lives. Big Bear in fifth, Moore Park in sixth. So as twilight descends upon the Mount San Antonio cross-country course, it looks like a good battle here between Capistrano Valley and Sage Creek. Sage Creek, by the way, in Carlsbad. Carlsbad and La Jolla both are coastal cities. Carlsbad's in North San Diego County, and La Jolla quite a few miles south of that, but in the general, not too far away from one another.
Vicky is looking up a big lead. Peters.
I think we're going to see a considerable flowing in that second mile by Hickey, but she's hanging on and still has a very comfortable lead. And she should be coming up shortly to the 2 mile mark, and you can see the sign right up there, I believe, which indicates coming up there to 2 miles. And Hickey 11:40.3, so she did slow down to 6:11 in that mile from 5:29. And she will have a little bit of an uphill here to have to traverse. Peters now 14 seconds behind from Sage Creek. So it's La Jolla versus Carlsbad over here. San Diego County duo. Isla Terrell of Monrovia moved up into third. You can see Hickey now coming in right at you, and you can see the gap there to Peters. Terrell from Monrovia third. And now the drone taking us at the top to Hickey. And you can see Terrell now coming into the picture as well. Be really quite a spread out field here for this individual sweepstakes race. And now Daly has to negotiate the hill, and you can see Peters is still in that picture. If Peters has some good uphills in her, good uphill running, this thing's not, as we saw in that first girls race with Arrington and Daly, this thing is definitely not over when you have to negotiate this hill. Reservoir Hill can get the best of you. So we'll see if Peters can kind of narrow the gap. Hickey, about ready to crest this hill, and then it's pretty much all downhill from here. So if you can handle that uphill, you've got a pretty good chance to be able to negotiate the rest of the course, especially with a lead like this. And we don't see Peters in the picture anymore. So now Hickey is taking that downhill before she goes back to the airstrip and then into Hilmer Lodge Stadium and the smoke that greets the leading runner. So Hickey makes the turn. Looks like she may have gone through a little bit of a bad patch there between mile 1 and 2, but seems to have sorted things out a bit. And now it may be a coronation of sorts here for her. Looking at the team standings, they're still kind of coming through. There's a big gap, but Monrovia I think those team standings may be a little bit off. But meanwhile, Hickey will be hitting the airstrip here shortly. Making that turn. This is kind of when you know at this point you can taste it, especially with a lead like this. Because once you get past that start line, you have just a short amount of terrain to cover before you head into the stadium and that 300-meter final traverse around the track. And you can see the boys individual sweepstakes divisions 3, 4, and 5 queuing up at that start line. They're about 4 minutes away from their race, which is the final race of the afternoon and the final amount of daylight that we have here today on a glorious day. Picture postcard day in Southern California, in Walnut, California. Lots of shade on the course now, and Ayanna Hickey moving into that little straightaway before she heads into Hilmer Lodge Stadium. And yes, she slowed down considerably from that super fast first mile, 5:29. You can see Peters coming in now. Does Peters have something left? Because Hickey has definitely slowed down a bit. And not only that, Peters is going to have some company here. Boy, oh boy, things have tightened up a little bit. So Hickey now going to move into the stadium. Peters has got to be careful here because there are 4, Terrell, Diaz, Villavicencio, and Osorio, who are right there. Here comes the smoke. Here comes Hickey onto the track where so many great world-class runners have participated. 300 meters to go for Ayanna Hickey from the Bishop School. She takes a look behind her from the Bishop School in La Jolla. The stadium recently renovated and debuted in 2020 with the renovations. A gorgeous stadium, a great fast track. And Hickey will now run that final. She's got about 250 meters to go. Still trying to really want to see the battle here for second, third, fourth, fifth. That was looking really, really good. This time will not approach what we saw Abigail Arrington do in the team sweepstakes race. Wow, Hickey takes a real look behind her. She's only got about 130 meters left to go here. Hickey, by the way, is just a 10th grader. So to win a race like this as a sophomore, she's putting on a little bit of a kick here. And you can see Peters coming up. Boy, Hickey takes yet another look around. Hickey takes one more look around. She's going to hold off Peters, but not by much. Wow. Peters maybe could have gotten her if she had just made her move earlier. Just 0.8 back. Terrell just finishes, as does Sarkeesian and Diaz. The boys are about ready to go for our final race of day 1 of the Mount SAC relays. The boys individual sweepstakes, divisions 3, 4, and 5. Wow, Peters left it maybe a little bit too much. She picked up 13 seconds on Hickey, and most of it, quite frankly, happened in the last 800 meters because, as you saw, going down the Reservoir Hill, it looked like Hickey had this thing in the bag. Boy, that's what makes cross country great. You just never know. So Peters in second, 17:56.9. Isla Terrell in third. Sarkeesian bagged 3 runners in that last mile, and Sarkeesian finished in 5:52.7. Sarkeesian having the fastest third mile of anybody. Harper Diaz of Santana in 5th. Lindsay Ballot of Coastal Academy in 6th, Villavicencio of Woodlake in 7th, Morocco Sage Creek in 8th, Osorio of West Covina 9th, Giorgio of Marlboro in 10th. geez Louise, if Gabriella Peters had just made a move a little bit sooner, could have put paid to Ayanna Hickey's efforts, and that's the danger of going out that fast. Boy, we saw it with Kiara Daly getting nailed there in that last 800 and 1200 meters by Abigail Arrington. Big group of boys here. So we see in the red and blue, the finishers about ready to head into Elmer Lodge Stadium, and then on the lower right, we've got the finishers of that individual sweepstakes 3-mile race. And on yellow and green, we've got the boys individual sweepstakes 3-mile. And of course, we saw some savvy moves made there by Augie Martin at the very end of that team sweepstakes race to just win by the narrowest of margins, the young man from St. Francis. Very savvy performance on that team individual sweepstakes race. I'm sorry, the team sweepstakes race. That's an oxymoron. Team individual. So 2:24 into the boys' race. Probably expecting that mile somewhere in the sub 5 area. Big pack. Probably just under 5 minutes will be that first mile for the boys. Taking a look at the team standings now. There's still a lot of work to be done there because we only have 28 finishers across the line, but Sage Creek has 4 of their 5 across, which augurs well for them. They're the only one with 4 of 5 across. Big Bear has 3 of 5 across. They're the only one with 3 of 5 across. So clearly there's Sage Creek should be in good shape here. But again, that's only 32 across the line there. Sage Creek, Monrovia, Moore Park, Capo Valley, all battling it out on that individual sweepstakes team race for girls. We'll await, obviously, how that plays itself out. Monrovia now has 5 of 5 across, so they got their 5th across before Sage Creek. And Capo Valley has 5 of their 5 across now as well.
Hey, go. I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna go corner. I'll go up it over there.
Meanwhile, the boys, about 4 minutes in. Large group at the front there. Don't forget to join us tomorrow, by the way. We'll be having the individual and team sweepstakes races in the big schools division, divisions 1 and 2. So let's keep an eye on Arrington, who broke 17 minutes. That may end up still being the fastest time of the weekend for the girls. We'll have to see. We should be seeing a 1 mile split up here in about 20 seconds or so, and we can give you kind of a leaderboard on the boys' race. And you can see now Sage Creek and Monrovia very, very close, with Capo Valley and Moore Park on the team side. Liam Miller of South Torrance, 4:53.4, the leader. Peter Slimmerman of Thousand Oaks. And Thousand Oaks, in fact, have 2 in the top 8. Orrin Hill in 8th. Mac Aldi from Carmel in 3rd. Andres Lomelli of Kimball in 4th. Zion Ortiz of Burroughs Ridgecrest in 5th. Hunter Lee, Moore Park in 6th. Omar Fabilla from LA Cathedral in 7th. We mentioned Hill from Thousand Oaks in 8th. Theo Poodlesony of Wildwood in 9th. And Emmanuel Lopez of Servite in 10th. So that is the leaderboard through 1 mile of the boys' individual sweepstakes race, divisions 3, 4, and 5. And as you can see, also Burroughs Ridgecrest doing a great job packing their guys in on the team side of the individual race. Burroughs Ridgecrest has, in addition to their low stick of Zion Ortiz in 5th, They also have Silas Aberrare in 23rd, Ryan Morrison in 24th. And then Chase Rogers in 36th and James Winder in 40th. So they have 5 in the top 40, Burroughs Ridgecrest, and sitting very, very good here. Josiah Bowman of Sage Creek would have been the favorite coming into this race. He's only 15th at the 1 mile. We're expecting to see him move up to be sure. Bowman was 6th in the Mount SAC team sweepstakes race last year in Divisions 3, 4, 5, and he was 16th in the state cross-country championships last year. And you talk about speed, this young man, Josiah Bowman, a junior from Sage Creek, which is in Carlsbad, as mentioned, 152.67, 800 credentials. He was second in the CIF San Diego section in the 800, and he's a 4:15 miler. So I'm expecting Bowman to make a move up. He was just 3 seconds behind the leaders early on, and as you can see, there is some separation here now. And we have literally, after that big pack at the mile, let's say between Bowman, who was 16th at the mile, and Miller, just a 3-second gap, but now we have 2 that have simply broken away. And it looks like Liam Miller there on the left from South Torrance. And Oliver Clippinger Zimmerman from Thousand Oaks. Those are the 2 in the lead. I think that's certainly the green of Thousand Oaks up there. So Miller, Clippinger, Zimmerman, 1-2. And there you see another Thousand Oaks runner in that distinctive green. As far as the team standings go now, the Burroughs Ridgecrest, a 54-point lead by virtue of that great packing. Kimball in second, Sage Creek in third, South Torrance fourth, Moorpark and Thousand Oaks in fifth and sixth. And Thousand Oaks, obviously with those low sticks, that's going to help them. So Miller and Clippinger Zimmerman have just separated. Miller on the right of picture, Clippinger Zimmerman on the left of picture. And they're making their way into this Reservoir Hill area where we've got this downhill, but then we have that uphill, which can be a differentiator, certainly. It's the only really severe uphill on this course is that Reservoir Hill one. No Poop Out Hill anymore, but we do have Reservoir Hill. And these 2 are absolutely in lockstep. And I'm sure we're going to see something develop between these 2 once we get a sense of that, once they start to ascend that hill. Meanwhile, the athlete there in third starting to close things down very fast, taking those downhills really swiftly. Look at the long strides for that athlete there in third. Can't ID him from this vantage point. So through 2 miles, Miller, Clippinger Zimmerman, and our guy is Zion Ortiz from Burroughs Ridgecrest, which is the leader of the team. And look who moved up. Josiah Bowman of Sage Creek moves up 11 spots into fourth. And this young man is a 152 800-meter runner and a 415 1600-meter runner. You don't see him in that picture, but he could be a savvy finisher here. And Ortiz really moving up on Miller and Clippinger's. Now you see in the white, there's Bowman, and he's moving down that hill. And he looks like